his place about staffing cuts in the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable and gallant friend for the question. Let me start off by saying that the Foreign Secretary has made it clear, indeed my right honourable friend the Prime Minister made this also clear at questions yesterday, that there will not be a 10% staff cut to the FCDO. Internal work has taken place that has not been signed off by ministers, but I remind the House that we are still investing massively in our overseas aid at £10 billion this year. The UK remains one of the largest ODA spenders in the world, as well as being well above the OECD average. The FCDO must continue to promote a positive, confident, outward-looking global Britain, deploying its diplomacy and development expertise to advance freedom, democracy and sustainable enterprise around this world. We remain a highly ambitious department supporting the integrated review and the aspirations set out within it. To do this, the department needs to ensure its resources, both its funding and its most valuable resource, its people, are aligned to its priorities. Over the next 3 years, some areas of the department will see staffing and resources, of course, increase, reflecting the need to align our people to the nation's priorities. The FCDO will continue to retain one of the largest overseas diplomatic network of any nation, whilst also ensuring value for money for the taxpayer. There will not be a 10% staff cut, and ministers will make the final decisions on workforce changes in the spring.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I first of all pay enormous tribute to my honourable friend for the work that he has done in his own part of the world as a Foreign Office Minister. The bilateral relationships that he has helped to build, along with his impressive command of Arabic, have transformed some of the relationships and moved them to a whole new footing, and that is enormously welcome. Because in that work, what he has seen is he's seen some fantastic envoys of this country representing what's best about us and achieving what we really need to see, which is a transformational attitude following the revolution that Brexit put into our foreign policy. Now, that's enormously welcome, so he will, I'm sure, agree with me that looking around the world and trying to find staff cuts, even if not 10%, even if only a few, is still going to be challenging. Because the reality is we need more people now, not fewer. We have found that the policy that we had before 2016 of over-centralising on international institutions like the European Union, or indeed on some of the others around the world that have caused such challenge, have not always served Britain's interests best. And we have decided, quite correctly, in my view, to invest very hard in the bilateral relationships that matter. This is indeed the policy of the integrated review that he's so rightly quoted. It's also the policy of the Foreign Secretary, as she's spoken about the BII, British International Investment, in order to challenge China's Belt and Road and secure more opportunities for British trade around the world. But that means more staff in Kenya, more staff in Nigeria, more staff in capitals around the European Union, not in Brussels. It means more staff around his own network in the Middle East that he's done so much to transform. This isn't really just a question about 10%. This is a question about what investment is going to be made in staff numbers in high commissions and embassies around the world to achieve the aim, the interests and the ambitions of the British people and the stated aim of this government. Surely that isn't fake news.
Mr. Speaker, I respond to my honourable friend's kind words about my command of the Arabic language. Shukran jazilan. And I actually will accept his compliment on behalf of the members of the FCDO across the network in my region and beyond, who are, of course, the primary means by which we deliver both diplomacy and development. He is absolutely right that the government remains highly ambitious in its foreign policy, as set out by the integrated review. Diplomacy and development is delivered primarily through people, and whilst we are very proud of being a top-tier ODA donating country, and with the aspiration of going, or the commitment to go back up to 0.7%, set out within the SR announcements, the integrated review does mean that we will need to ensure our posture globally reinforces that. So changes are inevitable. I absolutely take the point he makes about the value of the people as part of that. And when ministers make the ultimate decisions about this, we will absolutely take the points he makes, with which we very much agree, into consideration.
We now come to Shadow Minister Fabian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful to the honourable